nice to see you again.
Yeah, it's good to see you. Thank you.
So, you were on the phenomenally popular show The State.
Yes.
On MTV.
Yeah.
And then that sort of went off, and then you sort of just lost it, right? You just
yeah, totally.
Because you think about everybody wants to be famous and do what they love, and then you get up there, and then all of a sudden.
Well, it was, the whole group used to tell each other it was a mantra, over and over again. We're doing this for life.
Yeah.
We're doing it for the state forever and ever, like the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
And I was so naive and so wishful thinking
Yeah.
that I was just glued to that idea. Yeah. So when the state did break up, which was inevitable, I was just disillusioned for years. What the fuck? I don't know how I'm going to express myself, to be myself on stage. At my lowest point, when I was making $8 an hour catering after having been on the state on MTV, and people are recognizing me as a cater waiter, saying, "Weren't you on TV?" I'm at my lowest point. I'm starving, and I started talking to God with a pen. I'd ask God a question and then let God answer by letting my hand do what it will.
Did you close your eyes while God was answering?
No. I just try to imagine that it wasn't really me. It was God responding.
It's stories like these that really led you into starting Risk, right? The podcast Risk.
Yeah, I wanted a place where people could talk about stuff that they really didn't feel that they could talk about other places. You know what I mean? Margaret Cho just did the show, and she talks about her genuine fear of ghosts, and she tells a real story about how a ghost tried to sleep with her. And these are the kind of stories that are just so kind of weird that people feel it doesn't quite fit into what I usually, get up on stage and talk about.
Or when they go to the press, like People magazine. Or doing different interviews. You don't
exactly.
So Risk is sort of the place where celebrities and comedians go to tell stories that they would tell nowhere else.
Yeah, and a lot of times the audience walks away feeling oh my God, that's what excites me. I'm not so excited about laughs just for laughs' sake. I'm excited more of stuff that has some substance. I remember stories that other people have told better than I remember stand-up sets.
Stand-up's very hard.
I've never done it myself.
You have not?
Yeah, no. I'm not really a stand-up dude. That was part of the reason that I had such a hard time after the state broke up, finding what should I be doing. I just never was acclimated to that. It's weird because I'm 40 years old, and I feel like I'm now learning how to be on stage as myself.
So it sounds like your show isn't really going for the comedy per se, going for the punchlines, but more finding the truth, finding the funny in the truth of people's lives.
Exactly.
That's cool.
The thing about stories is, the thing about stand-up is, it is kind of a manipulative form, because it is going for the rhythm of laughs every 5 seconds or whatever.
Yeah.
A story kind of has to go and be whatever it needs to be from moment to moment. So some of this stuff gets a little bit heavy or tragic.
After the state ended in '96, what really have you found, and now obviously Risk, and you're finding some success with that, what drives the mind of Kevin Allison? What is in there that is there? Because there seems to be a lot of duality going on with you. What?
I think it's just that I want to, what scares me more than anything is the thought of being honest. It's a really tough thing to do, because you walk a weird line between too self-deprecating or too self-indulgent, right? Those are the two pits you might fall into. But if you're really searching, if you tell a story a bunch of times, each time you tell it, you can find a new layer, a new part of the onion to peel off, Sometimes we've had people come on Risk, because we also do radio-style stories, and I can tell that people haven't really processed something. We've had 2 young ladies come in and start telling a story about a time I was really drunk, and this guy was really trying to get me to do this, and then as they're telling the story, you see their eyes kind of start to go, wait a minute, they're realizing that something happened to them that they're not happy about, right? So We don't want it to be therapy. We want people to have processed things beforehand, but we do want people to be stepping out of their comfort zone, whatever the comfort zone is, you know? So a serious person might be silly on risk, and a silly person might be serious.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What a cool way to approach it. I love it. So for more information, for the people that want to listen to Risk, they can go to risk-show.com.
That's right.
I find you very inspiring. I think it's fascinating. I see a lot in you that I'm working through right now, even just starting in the late 80s in college and pushing it through and getting that show on MTV. And then just the ups and downs of this industry is really fascinating, isn't it? You can be on top one day and then... Whew.
Yeah, it makes you feel very human when you hear stories like that because, you know, it makes us feel like we're all in the same boat.
And then it's all okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin Allison.